Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Neil Haley Show, and also Neil Haley live on the radio. And we're going to have some interesting guests today, so I'm excited to welcome the program Zena Wood. Zena, thanks for calling, and how are you?
Hi, I'm well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for coming on the show. Excited to know what's new with you and different things. So for our audience, tell us a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into what's currently going on with you.
Sure. Okay, great. Well, I've been working in New York for about 2 years now. I started in South Africa doing singing, dancing, and acting, and then I moved into producing mostly political documentaries and then mockumentaries because politics becomes funny at some stage.
Right.
You gotta laugh. And yeah, now I've been here. I'm mostly producing, but I'm acting, singing, dancing as well. And yeah, that's about it in a nutshell.
So how did you start in the entertainment field? Tell us that story.
It's not my mom. My mom's in theater. So from the age of like 3, I was on her stages, even when I wasn't welcome. I would wander onto the stage. So I think some of that definitely rubbed off on me. And then I studied actually political science for I did my BA, and I really enjoyed. I wanted to then mix the two, and that's how I started getting into the documentary side of things,
Okay.
and also then into producing, which I just find such a marriage between my creative side and then my more business side. So that for me is just really, really exciting.
So why do you enjoy that? You know, you were involved in the theater. Why do you enjoy producing? It seems like more. What's so special about that you enjoy doing that?
I think it's because it's a little bit of a rush. You're in control of a lot of things, and it's great to work with people that have a vision, and then to help them achieve that vision. So as a producer, you're seeing someone's vision, or maybe a whole team's vision. You're seeing it through from pre-production to post-production, and to ultimately see that project bloom in the end
Yes.
and become something is really a great feeling. Yeah.
So educate me on how I could do producing. I mean, honestly, my background, I guess I produce and
Yeah.
host a TV show, so I produce TV and radio. So there goes one thing that I'm a producer. What's the
Yeah.
difference of what you do in documentaries and different things like that in production?
Yeah. So, because I work independently, I'm not in a network or anything. There's slight differences, but what I would usually do is that a project gets given to me, or I meet someone about a project and we start talking. And then if I take the project on, you basically start from the beginning. You start with what the person wants, what their goals are, when they want to have the project shooting. And then you basically work through this whole list of to-do things. You get a lawyer, you have to deal with unions, you kind of get all the admin out the way, and then you start looking at the actual production. So then you start looking at film crews,
Right.
anything you need for, stunt teams, any random things like that. And you literally just tick off every box until you reach the end.
So what makes you say yes to a project and no to a project?
That's actually a good question. I do have a certain affinity to projects that are that sort of thought provoking. I like projects that somehow have something to do with the sci-fi genre. I also enjoy action. If it's a good narrative and the writer has put in good work, it's really great to work on a project. I think at some stage you can see from the beginning if you're gonna like something or not. And I've actually worked on like one or two things that I wasn't mad about, and it's definitely it makes your job harder.
So yes, and that's the same thing in taking on clients. I make the mistake sometimes, Zena, to take those clients on, and I kick myself, or tutoring
Yeah,
students and saying, "Why? I need work." But it's good when you have enough work so you can just say, can you call me in a couple months?
Yeah.
I'm busy with this other project, and I feel like I'm at that point now. You know, I'm looking for new clients, but not actively pursuing it. And I'm going to get and pick and choose, and that's what I've been able to do in tutoring. And before I couldn't do that. So it's just so much about the growth and understanding. So let's talk about your current projects. First of all, the one you're producing, and then the other one you're acting in. Let's talk about first of all the one you're producing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So we actually wrapped the arrangements last week. We were very excited. We started shooting in 2015, and we had about 3 sections of shooting. Yeah, so we just wrapped that. It's in post. There's actually a rough cut already. Now we're just going to elaborate on that rough cut and just keep cutting until it's stunning. And then it's going to do the festival route. And yeah, that's one of the examples of having been just so lucky to work with such an amazing team. Kim McKean and Greg Beam were the beginners of this project, and then they got me on to produce. And we have Sapita Mohafi in it. We have Tim Haber. We have Ed Wilkinson. We just have a great cast that really, really did great work on this film. And yeah, I'm excited.
So tell me about the arrangements. Can you say it's in post-production? You allowed to say anything more right now, or we have to wait?
Well, yeah, it's literally in post-production. It's going to be done in about 2 months, and then it's going to start doing the festival route. The hashtag is the arrangement film. So once all the marketing starts, it's probably going to be in about 2 months. Yeah.
That's when you can talk about it. Okay. And then also acting-wise, you have a TV show called Making It. So tell us a bit about Make It. Make It.
Yeah. That's actually an offshoot of the Ask Bonbon show that's hosted by Bonnie Bruderer.
Okay.
She's done really great work with this talk show, and they've now made this show called Make It, and it follows young women working in the city and also trying to make a difference where they work. Yeah, so that's a new thing, and we've done interviews, we've had B-roll done, we've had camera crews sort of record a little bit of what we do in our everyday life, and that's Make It. I'm really happy to be on that.
So is it interesting interviewing them and seeing what their aspirations are?
Interviewing who?
Interviewing the people, talking to people that are aspiring and talking to them.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, the other day actually we were working in studio with Bonnie, and she had someone on. I think her name was Mimi Bonnie, but she's an ex-Ninja Warrior finalist.
Okay.
And it was just so, yeah, it was so cool to see what she had to say. She's now started. She started a whole fitness regime called Eat Not Diet, and it was just really cool to see someone who's put so much work into their training. And so you get these opportunities to speak to people that you wouldn't every single day, in your normal day life.
That's very, very interesting. And what are you seeing from the people that are in Make It that you follow along and look at? What do you think is their biggest struggle trying to make it?
With people that are just in the performing side of things, it's definitely one of the biggest struggles is waiting, not knowing where your next paycheck or the next job's going to come from. There's a lot of stress involved in that, and that's actually one of the reasons I also do enjoy producing, is that I actually don't have to wait so much. Waiting can get rough, so I do think that's one of the struggles.
Yeah, I think it is too. And then finding the right project, right? The right one that's going to make you.
Yeah.
And because you have to pick and choose and not always jump to the next thing. So where's the best place we can find information on you, Zina, and stuff? Where can we go?
You can follow me on social media. It's just my name, Zina Wood, ZinaWoord. I'm also on Instagram, and then once the arrangements kicks off, the hashtag will be the arrangements film, and
awesome.
there will also be a website for that.
Awesome. Look forward to hearing more about the arrangements when you come on another time. So thanks again for calling, Zina, and take care.
Great. right, Neil. Thank you so much. Have a great one.
You're welcome. You're watching The Neil Haley Show and listening to The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment. We're back to The Neil Haley Show. Twitter, Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Total Tutor, Pinterest, Neil Haley, and Google+, and at totalradio.net and neilhaley.com, all the different places. And I'm excited if I do have my guest on the line. Ari, are you on the line?
Ari Cow.
Hi, Ari. How are you? Good to talk to you.
Same here. I'm fine. Thank you very much.
All right, so we're excited to welcome the program Ari Taub. And Ari, let's talk about specifically a little bit about your background, then we're going to get to your latest projects.
Okay, you got it.
So,
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, no, I just said tell us a little bit about your background as an actor and stuff, and then we'll get right into your latest projects.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm a film director promoting Sabrina and Parts, which we just premiered at the Soho Film Festival out of competition, and we won Best Film last night with the Audience Choice Award, and I am a filmmaker, been making films in New York since the late 1980s, and I still shoot on film as opposed to digital, and I've been working in and out of the business since then, and I work on a lot of independent projects. I'm an independent filmmaker in New York.
Gotcha. So when did you start? How did you start in doing some of this stuff, Ari? Tell me about that.
Well, actually, my father was doing film in the 1950s and 60s, and when I was a baby in the late 60s, he was making movies, and he had like an upright moviola and all kinds of old equipment. I used to play around with that, and I think that I caught the bug very early on, and I was making films in the 70s when I was 8 or 9 years old, just sort of doing little animations, shooting on 16 millimeter, and then I started doing films in high school, and then in college I went to NYU Film School, graduated there, and then, sort of got into the business after that. Yes.
And why did you decide to stay in New York? Because your father was a New York kind of film guy, or was it because you could choose between New York and LA? What made you want New York?
Well, I had moved out to LA for a year, and I was not. It was a very sobering experience for me because I came out there with sort of dreams of trying to make it in Hollywood, but there were so many people already out there, and they were so hell bent on kind of creating opportunities for themselves, and no one wanted to help me at all. In fact, they did everything they could to prevent me from getting anywhere. Everybody was sort of out for themselves. So it was a very dog-eat-dog thing, and that was like 20 years ago, so I can't imagine it's any better now than it was then. And I just quickly realized that it just wasn't the place for me because I wasn't able to do anything creative that I wanted to do. New York's a terrific place to be creative. You're really a unique person here in New York, and no matter what you do, it's a place where things can happen, and the possibilities are endless, and there's a lot of energy here, which you don't have on the West Coast, So that's why I came back to New York quickly and stayed here. But I have to say, while I was in L.A. for 1 year, it felt like 20 years.
Really?
Because there was no weather change. The weather was always the same. And when I saw Santa Claus standing out there at 68-degree weather, like waving his bells, sweating, dressed in a Santa Claus costume, I knew it was time to come home. It's just like, it just wasn't for me, You
said this is it. I'm done. I can't last any longer, right? It's time to go.
Well, it was very scary. I was mentally shutting down because you're alone. It's a society where people don't really interact. It's also fake. It's like a society where it's very plastic. What you see on television is not really what's going on.
Yes.
It's, the life you're living there is something completely different. It's almost like you're detached. Everyone's detached from everybody, and it's a very isolated environment with millions of people living in an isolated environment together. It's a very strange. I can't quite explain it. I almost feel like, and if the people in LA are hearing this now, I apologize to all of you guys for being so hard, but I really feel like people from LA are from another planet. I feel like
maybe people think of you as well, Ari, from another planet being in New York.
There you go. Okay, I'm fine with that.
New Yorkers are fine with that, right?
Yeah. Are you from LA?
No, Pittsburgh. I think you both are from other planets.
Well, you can be a diplomat. You can be a diplomat then.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the only nationally syndicated celebrity talk shows that's locally in Pittsburgh. It cracks me up. But hey, my story's a very strange story, Ari. So, we'll go from there. Let's talk about, and congrats again, winning Best Film for 79 Parts at the Soho Film Festival. So tell me a little bit about 79 Parts.
Yeah, okay. Well, 79 Parts is a movie I've been working on for the last 10 years.
Wow.
I'm averaging about one feature every 10 years, and that's mostly not by choice. It's not like I go into a project saying, "Oh, it's going to take me 10 years to do this." It's mostly because it's so hard to get funding to do a film properly. If you want to shoot a movie, $30,000 or $50,000, you want to shoot it in an
Exactly.
apartment or one location, and you want to shoot it with a cheap equipment, a Canon 7D or your iPhone, you can do that. But I'm a filmmaker that's been trained classically, and I'm a Spielberg type of filmmaker, and I want to do things big and right. But without the connections of money, I've had to go the long road. So it typically, and I'm not talking about 10 years of like looking to make a movie. I'm talking shooting the movie over 10 years. So that
That's
means
wow.
that we would shoot a couple scenes at one point, and then we'd have to go out and raise more money, shoot more scenes and raise money. And it kind of worked where, it would take 10 or 15 grand to shoot a couple scenes. So we would basically spend a whole year or two raising that money, and then we would have to, it would get spent in maybe 3 days. And then we'd have to spend another year to raise enough money to shoot for 6 days. So that, it was really spread out. And that was tough for the actors because they had to keep coming back. And a number of actors, their hair grayed and stuff. So we had to color their hair every time we filmed with them, and we had to keep perfect continuity. You won't be able to tell that any of that.
So those are dedicated actors and actresses you had. You had dedicated people to keep coming.
Oh, I'm sorry, say again?
Dedicated to keep coming for dedicated.
Yes. We had a lot of dedicated people. There were like maybe 5 leads and about 15 supporting actors and maybe 60 speaking roles in the film. So there's a lot of dedicated people there that had to come back and back and back each time, and they had to come back with the same hairstyle, the same haircut, the same weight, the same look whenever we needed to film with them. So they were very dedicated, and I, keep a close relationship with those people because, if I had a falling out with any of them, that would be the end of my movie,
Exactly.
You can't afford to do that.
All right, so let's talk about it now. Took you 10 years to make, but let's talk about it.
Okay. What specific things do you want to talk about?
Just the premise of the movie and stuff. Yes.
I'm so sorry. It's not the connection, but I just missed
the premise. So Ari,
the premise.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, got you. 79 Parts is a comedy about a law student who borrows money from a loan shark who's in an illegal gambling business, who sells stolen cars. He borrows money to pay for law school, and his friend takes him to the horse track, and they end up losing all the money at the horse races.
Oh no!
And he has to pay he has to pay the loan shark back, and of course he can't. And the loan shark is dating an illegal immigrant from Italy who needs a green card. So the loan shark forces him to marry this girl with a green card. And I'm sure you can imagine what happens next. It's a comedy. It's a lot of fun, and it's a real caper. There's a lot of chase scenes, and there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on. It takes place in 1979. So the whole film is shot, period. So everything, the cars, the locations, the buildings, everything is period perfect. So when you're watching the movie, you feel like you're in the 70s, and including it was shot on film, so it has a very 70s look. And the style of the film was sort of like Scorsese's Mean Streets or Taxi Driver, this kind of thing, or the movies of that time,
Oh wow! So it seems like you were really looking at the genre of it, and made sure that you had the specific everything that was needed for you. Meaning, like it really looked like the time period of '79. That's why it costs so much to make, and make sure that the scene looks authentic the way it needs to look, and all these different things, so that people can really look back and say, that looks like 1979. And then the car chase scenes and all the funniness. Oh, that's great. I'm very happy for you, Ari, and I hope that this award leads to much more stuff. Where's the best place we can find information on the film and yourself, Ari?
Well, right now, the quickest thing is to, do 79parts.com.
Okay.
You know, I'm sorry, 79 parts. I'm sorry, www.79partsthemovie.com.
Okay.
So, or any kind of search that you put in 79 parts will turn up, and then, you know, there's a trailer there. There's photos from the film, and the film right now is in festival circuits. So we're, you know, sending out screeners to the festivals. We just got into our first official festival, which is a Soho, and we won the best film audience pick, which is great. And we weren't even in competition. We're out of competition, and we'll probably enter 25 to 50 festivals around the world. So we'll see what we get into, and then from that we want to build some ground support, and then from there we would like to get the film distributed. So we're kind of on the beginning of that journey.
All right. Well, thanks for calling, Ari, and thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much for your time. I look forward to listening to your show.
Take care, Ari. See you later. Bye-bye. Do we have Donna on the line?
Yes, hey, how are you?
Fantastic. Excited to welcome to the program Donna Drake. Donna, thanks for calling. And I tell you, being involved in the entertainment business is a busy time for you, isn't it? Always interesting things, right?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I just left the company that does my wardrobe for me for my television show, just picked out jewelry. I'm actually sitting in the parking lot after picking up the jewelry so that I didn't miss the call-in for this. So I'm in my car. So talking about busy, yes, it's constantly evolving. I was at the Soho Film Festival last night. I got to see Ari get his award, so it was great just listening to his segment on your show. And but I love it. It's 24/7 for me. I think since second grade I've done nothing but been on roller skates. So
that's great. That's great. Let's go to your latest projects because of the amount of time we have. Just tell us what's going on with you. I said you're first the TV show and all the different things, Donna.
Yeah, so my television show, I interview celebrities, but not about them being famous. I don't care. It's like, what are you doing for the community now that you made a name for yourself? So Gloria Gaynor, Mike Tyson, Mike Strahan.
Wow.
This week I'm supposed to interview Tony Bennett, Eddie Murphy, a ton of other celebrities. And then I mix those with businesses that come on the show, and I highlight them for the celebrity that they are in their chosen field. And then I feature nonprofit organizations. So that's the show. It's called Live It Up. It airs on CBS and in 25 countries. But I have the wonderful privilege of working as an MC. And then also I'm an actress myself. I belong to SAG. And so I have, been doing some recent acting, which I've enjoyed. I worked with Anthony Lioncourt in Thorns for Flowers recently, and that was a really fun film. Also a period piece, also, set back in the 70s. So that's what I do. Every day of my life is something. Either I'm on camera, behind the camera, producing my television show, emceeing things for charities. So well, good. It's a good
Wow,
memory.
Donna, I tell you, I'm impressed by that celebrity list. How did that happen? I mean, I know getting on syndication, especially being on TV, and getting the opportunity to getting to talk to such interesting celebrities. How did that start, the show and everything?
Well, once you get one sponsor, the show came to me in a dream in 2008. I was sleeping, and it was divinely kind of gifted to me. I dreamt the whole thing in color. But I've probably known since, I guess, second grade that I was going to grow up to be famous or somehow working in the entertainment industry. When I had the dream, I just went to the station and I said, listen, we need to do a show about hope because people are losing their jobs.
Right.
Bad things are happening in the economy. And that's how the show started. But the celebrities, once you get one, then you're kind of trusted. So like Gloria Gaynor invited me to her home, and I've interviewed Mike Tyson and Mike Strahan. And once they feel comfortable opening up and talking to you, then other celebrities know that you're a trusted journalist. You're an open
Exactly.
source for them to talk to. And then like my interview with Clive Davis or, so many different musical groups like Foreigner and REO Speedwagon. And I enjoy them. I come to an interview with the intention of shining a nice light on that person.
Exactly.
So that they can really share the essence of who they are.
Well, speaking of celebrity, when I interviewed T.O., everyone thought, T.O. and how he was with the media, and the guy was tremendous. And Alvina Austin hooked me up with is his publicist. And she, sweetheart, and said, hey, and you get T.O. for a half hour. And the guy was so nice. So if you're willing to really interview them and talk to them about truly what they care about, you make that connection. That's the important thing. Television's the easiest. Radio's the hardest because you got to make sure you break that ice 2 to 3 minutes in. Television, probably when you see them before they walk in, have a little small talk, you've already broken the ice. But when you do it like you and I talking right now, I definitely going to have you on for a longer period of time for sure. Today's been a crazy day, starting 8:50 with Michael Harney from Orange is the New Black to now. Right now we're at this point. So I don't have the celebrities you have, but I'm trying to be who you are, meaning your success in television and all that stuff.
I would be happy to have you on my show anytime, and thank you for spending a few minutes with me to bring about awareness about my show. And if people could tune in, they can watch it on the computer anywhere in the world at liveituptvshow.com. That's it. It's as simple as that. Liveituptvshow.com. So if you can't see us on the broadcast in your area, you could
fantastic.
Check it out online.
So in New York,
so far, Jay Leno.
Oh wow. Okay. So I was going to say, Donna, are you on? So you're on TV in New York City and then on others channels across the country? Is that how it works for TV?
Yes. So I'm on WLNY TV. So somebody could watch me on like RCN, Comcast, Time Warner, Dish, Direct in this New York tri-state area. And then we have other viewers. Somehow they're picking me up. I don't know. Like maybe if they have Dish or Direct, they're picking me up in other parts of the country. But 25 different countries tune in to watch me on my YouTube channel or also on the website. So we try to put out the content in as many places as we possibly can.
Yes.
And, it's fun. They're all like 6 to 8 minute little interviews.
Wow. That's what I have to do for my radio tours. Like who I get on. I have the producer of, I'm losing track, but that's my end of the day. So best place we can find information on you again, Donna, and follow you on social media and stuff. Where can we go?
Absolutely. It's Live It Up TV Show. And if they just Google Live It Up TV Show, I should be on the first page of Google, and they could click on it, and they can find all my information, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, and all those type of things there.
All right, we'll be tweeting this out when it goes out to syndication. Be ready. And Donna, what I think what it teaches us is you're right. Once you develop a celebrity's trust, other celebrities come your way. And then before you know it, you have such a huge show like yours. And I appreciate you coming on today, and best of luck to you.
Okay, thank you so very much for your kindness, and I'll have you back on my show too. Happy journeys, everybody.
All right, you take care. All right, see you, Donna. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was the Neil Haley Show. You can check me out on Twitter at Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook. Take care, guys, and we'll be back very, very soon next week.